What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I have some bad news about our giant epic tournament that we have all invested so much time into. It has unfortunately had the most anticlimactic, disappointing finish that I could have possibly imagined. After Scan not showing up on the original finals date, Kokanee was messaged by myself and Slash with no reply, and was given a chance a 1 week away from when the finals were supposed to be to show up to play Scan for the finals, but unfortunately he not only did not reply to any of our messages on Facebook or on StarCraft or on the forums, he completely ignored us and then did not show up at all. So, unfortunately, we will not get to see the ending of our tournament of Scan versus Kokanee. And, yeah, instead, we're going to have to see Gangster Jose, who did not participate in the tournament, play against Scan himself. So, yeah, this is just a filler because since Kokanee did not show up, he is disqualified, and Scan will be the Tournament of Titans winner in that very anticlimactic ending. I would have loved to see it actually go down, but unfortunately, it is just not going to happen. As, yeah, no one has heard from Kokanee. Kokanee did not tell anybody anything. I don't know whether he was just pissed off that Scan didn't show up for the first game or what exactly happened. But yeah, we are not going to get to see the ending that we all wanted. But hopefully this series will make up for it. Jose versus Scan in a best of 7. Just to hopefully make up for what we were all hoping for. Jose has won a lot of SCW tournaments, and we're still going to see the Korean pro versus one of the best non-Koreans out there in fastest. Unfortunately, not the Korean Slayer himself. He did dodge, and yeah, super disappointed about that, but we will get to see at least a Scan versus Jose. And Pro Evil is also going to be playing against Scan in a rematch of their first round. So that will be set up too by Slash. So we are going to see 2 more best of 7s with Scan versus the top non-Korean players. And yeah, we will get to see some good games, some good series hopefully. But unfortunately not going to see the Kokanee, the one that we all hyped up. The one that we all wanted, that we all have watched from the very beginning. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, I am sorry to everybody who really wanted to see that. I am just as disappointed as you, but hopefully this makes up for it. Let's jump into the game here, see what's going on. We do have Scan in the middle position as Zerg versus Jose, who went for that Nexus first into the Forge. Quick gas, Cybernetics core on a single gateway. So he's going to be teching up really quickly. We can see that robotics facility down really quickly. Scan was denied any kind of scouting, so he did have to invest in 4 Sunkens to make sure no crazy zealots run by, and he's just going to be starting his gas now. So, yeah, we are not what we wanted, but still, again, hopefully this series makes up for it. Jose, no slouch. Like I said before, he has won multiple seasons. He has been one of the top players for a long time, and yeah, we'll see how he fares against Scan, who's just been playing unbelievable StarCraft lately. So yeah, I'll get back into this game. We do have the double robo into the Citadel of Adun. So it looks like, and 4 more gateways. So Jose going to go for some drop into some pressure here. Maybe getting the Reavers to choke or to shoot at the front and massing Dragoons. We'll see exactly what he does want to do. The Temple of Archives and the Robotics Facility being thrown down here. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how this game goes. We do have a quick Zergling speed here, so it looks like Scan's gonna go for his famous mass Zergling build and see if he can kind of catch this Protoss off guard. He has been going for the time. We did see it work great versus JH. It doesn't look like he needs to scout too much for this to feel like it's going to work here. Unfortunately for him, Jose did not go quite as greedy as JH. He has 4 gateways and he is building Zealots, so he is going to have some Zealots with cannons and possibly these 2 Reavers out to defend here. We'll see how well this works. Scan is famous for doing this mass Zergling build. He does like to put the pressure on when the Protoss just isn't really expecting it. Well, it's coming in here now. We'll see exactly how she goes. There is 4 Zealots out here, but not with these cannons. So these cannons are going to get taken out here. Going to have to start throwing down some cannons at home, but these Reavers are nearly done. So with some good Reaver micro, he should not take substantial damage as long as he can keep these Zealots in here. But this is a lot of Zerglings, and more Zerglings are being produced now. Back at home. 3 hatcheries are also being thrown down here at home, but so far these Zealots are microing very nicely around here. Reavers are going to start dropping now and get some big shots off on these Zerglings, and it looks like this will be cleaned up without taking too much damage here, and that is going to put Scan pretty far behind, as he invested a lot of larvae into Zerglings instead of drones. You can see his drone count only at 20, so he is pretty much half the drones, or half the worker supply down to Jose, and Jose has a DT out here with these Reavers, and of course they are now out. So everything looking good for Mr. Jose here. We're gonna lose a pylon maybe and a gateway here, but nothing substantial at all. That is going to be cleaned up. We do have the Corsair and the first dropship coming out here as well. So Scan is going to be a little far behind. He does have Hydralisk, as he was macroing pretty far behind, but Jose not going to get greedy and go for any kind of drone kill. He is just going to keep these Reavers alive and start shooting away these Sunkens at the front while reinforcing with his ground units back at home. Not a bad idea at all. The layer just completing now. He knows that the Zerg invested a lot into that attack there, as that was just like almost a minute of his time and investments into those Zerglings. These Zal's going to come in here, also going to start pressuring away here, try to buffer for these Reavers as they do inch closer. Not much static defense here, and you can see the supply here. That is really risky going for those Zergling Hydralisks, but the Zerg is going to be pretty far behind. Very nice Reaver shot there. Is going to be cleaned up here by Scan. So Scan is going to keep himself alive, and if he does that a couple more times, he will be getting himself in a good situation. He's going to have to be very mindful of those drops, though, as the Koreans are famous for not building much static D around their mains. And all it takes is one Reaver Scarab to mess up the Zerg for the rest of the game. Quickly getting all of its drones, though, back up to a fairly good drone count here, and Evil Chamber is going to be thrown down. The Zerglings are in here, keeping an eye on exactly what this Protoss player is doing. There is a lot of Reavers out here. And Zealot speed is almost done, so this looks like it is going to be a Reaver and Zealot push here at the front, with some Corsairs going to be accompanying them just in case there is some kind of crazy mutobomb. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case here. Looks like it's just going to be, well, maybe it could be. There is a Spire down without a Queen's Nest, so maybe going to go for the Hydralisk Muta build. Mutas are pretty good versus this build. Especially if there's only going to have a single Stargate pumping out Corsairs. You can use some Scourge to take care of that. But yeah, as of right now, just on 6 hatcheries only. Now reinforcing that choke with those sunken colonies. This Overlord, which has been pretty lucky, is now going to get taken out, and dropships are going to be produced to start shuttling over these Reavers to the choke here. We'll see exactly how well Scan can hold on. Just had a hold tab there just to make sure I'm recording, because I'm super paranoid about not recording now before I get too far into this. Overlord going to get picked off with some pretty nice, nicely placed units around the choke. Going to make sure that the Zerg has limited vision on that map to have just that the less time to react to these incoming drops, which are just going to be coming now. Second Stargate is being produced now. An observatory also going to be used, as Scan is famous for also getting lurkers, a lot of lurkers versus Protoss and Terran. And staying on that layer tech for a while. That Queen's Nest now just finishing up, massing up more Sunkens here at the front, which he is going to need, as there is going to be a lot of Reavers here from our Protoss player. Massing up more gateways. We don't see many High Templars here, so not going to use too many High Templars. Scourge is trying to chase down that Scourge, and they are successful. And now a lot of Reavers are coming in here. 6 Reavers going to start punching away at that choke. No mutas in production quite yet. 7 lurkers are being built, and he is going to rely on those lurkers for now to slow it down. Lurkers are pretty good versus these zealots, but without any hatcheries back here, these zealots are also going to be pretty good versus these sunken. Reavers are pushing forward now. A lot of Protoss army here. Going to be tough to hold here without any without many more units other than ground units for the Zerg player. Reavers are just absolutely demolishing all of these units. No observers, so maybe there is a chance that these lurkers can take out some of these Reavers before any observers come by. Going to at least prevent them from pushing too far forward, but the Reavers are absolutely destroying all of those Hydras. 10 or 8 mutas are being produced now. Going to try to use those mutas, but looks like Jose has transitioned all into Dragoons here, and is going to use the Dragoons to defend versus the mutas here. Still going to need those observers, but yeah, we'll see exactly how it goes. The hive almost done. Still going to be a long way away from any kind of guardians here, and that looks like there's going to be more than enough Dragoons to keep everything alive. Looks like Jose is just waiting for an observer to come up here. Careful, just on hold position right now. Careful not to running into those lurkers here. Mutas are going to come in here and try to do what they can, but there is a lot of Dragoons here, and he is just making sure that the Zerg cannot reinforce his choke here. Even going to build a pylon here to eventually start building cannons. Trying to find a way in here. He's going to pick off that spire, even going to prevent any guardians from being built. Nice move from Jose there. And observers are now going to be in here, and this army, it looks like it's going to be way too big for these lurkers to be able to do anything. More mutas getting picked off. The lurkers are going to go down. There isn't going to be any more mutas being able to be produced here, as that spire was picked off. Microing these mutas as well as he can, but that is a lot of Dragoons, and Storm is not going to help, and Scan is going to GG out, and Jose is going to take a 1-0 lead versus the champion Scan here. In very nice gosu fashion here. We don't like to see Jose win very often, but we shall see how she goes into game number 2. Jumping into game number 2, we have Jose as Protoss once again versus Scan as Terran. Both going to be in middle positions, and they are going to be across from each other. So this is a fairly close locations. Much closer than if they were to be diagonally across from each other. And yeah, we're going to see how Jose does. Jose, one of the most BM players out there, is going to ask if you are mad. Yeah, Jose definitely a bit of a shithead for sure. Hard to like that guy, but he is pretty good at StarCraft. You can't deny that. Scan going to go for a very quick gas here, so maybe going to go for that factory build here. Going to go up against 2 gateways. Jose complaining about lag as usual, just something that he loves to complain about. Obviously going to be a little bit of lag from Korea to Peru. I believe that's where Jose is from. Jose going to go for that 4 gateway open this time, so a lot different than the Nexus first build. Going to keep switching it up here. Don't want to be too predictable versus these Korean players. This looks like it's definitely going to be that factory build here. Going to scout even with that first probe, or first SCV, and double probe scout going to come out here for Jose. So Jose really going to try to apply some pressure, and that is going to be up to Scan to defend this. There is a time where Terran is very vulnerable with a build like this. The double factory is going to be yeah, super vulnerable at the beginning stages. That's going to be just 1 factory of Marines here, and once the vultures get out, though, that's when then the Protoss is on the defensive, as vultures can quickly spiral out of control versus zealots, and there isn't going to be any kind of Dragoons or anything out here for Jose. Jose is really going to commit to a lot of zealots, so it is going to be a very interesting game here. I don't know if Oze saw this, but he must have seen that it's Terran now, because he's going to put up a choke here, probably a Forge back at home as well here, and maybe start trying to transition, knowing that he's not going to be able to get a crazy amount of damage done. But not exactly sure yet. We do see that Forge, yeah, so maybe he's just going to at least establish that choke just in case this does backfire, which is going to be good for him. Vulture's just now being produced. One bunker is going to be up, but he is going to have to deal with the 5 Zealots who are coming across the map. This Forge could also be for the cannon pressure if he does want to try to get some cannons up, but we're going to see how this goes now. One Vulture is out, 2 more are being produced. These Zealots are going to come in here, try to target down this bunker. Good SCV pull by Scan here, and we're going to see that Gosu micro here. Vultures are pretty good at picking off of these probes. The probe does go down to a couple of SCVs there. And yeah, it's going to be tough to build cannons if you don't have probes here. Bunker in a very nice position. It is full with 4 Marines, but we now have those 3 Vultures picking off these Marines. These Vultures are coming out here to make sure that no probes can get in here. Just want to continually pick that off. Again, these Zealots are going to come in here to try to target down this bunker. With the extra Marines and Vultures, though, it doesn't look like they are going to be successful. Also, nicely repaired here. And this is when it starts getting out of control here for the Terran player, as he has just been so cost efficient, picking off tons of minerals in Zealots here with hardly any losses at all. Going to now throw down that machine shop, as he is confident that he has stopped this, and he has actually scouted at home. 2 cannons are going back near the Nexus, but nothing at the choke here yet. This has been completely shut down, the pressure from the 4 gate, and Oze is going to be in some trouble here. Scan is going to be able to, really spiral out of here, especially with 3 factories here. Even throwing down his command center now, knowing that he has himself in a great position. Vulture's continuing to pick off more and more Zealots. The Zealots are now deciding to retreat back at home, and he is going to try to establish a choke here. Also going to get those gas down. Not going to throw down any additional Nexi, as he knows that he is in some trouble here. Going to need that Cybernetics core down. He's going to need at least some kind of tech here to deal with this. Going to get that Academy so he can get some comm stats down. A big wall off of pylons here, making sure that no Vultures can run by. But these Vultures are just going to be used to contain the Protoss while these tanks are going to be starting pushing out. Widow Mines are being upgraded right now too. Another excellent upgrade for our Terran player here. That Cybernetics core just getting thrown down now, and his additional Nexus. So is going to try to macro out of this, but yeah, the timer is ticking. This Terran army is going to be massive. 3 factories this early is going to be really good. Widow Mines getting thrown down now, just to make sure these Zealots will be able to do even less here. Gonna have to throw down a couple more cannons here, knowing that he's going to have to hold this push off here. He did go triple Nexus, and he did do it at the bottom here, knowing that the tanks at the top are going to be a very big possibility if this gets into the later games. Going to want to keep those Nexus alive and leave all this room for cannon and static defense. So Oze's fastest experience showing there. He is basically only played this map for his entire career, and he knows what to do here. We can see Scan scouting around the map, making sure that he does have a contain here. Doesn't want to have any kind of mass gateway coming in from anywhere else, leaving him vulnerable. And the upgrades are actually going to start from as well here. So an excellent position here for Scan. Just waiting for that siege mode, almost upgraded there. You can see in the top left it is nearly completed. And then, yeah, once siege mode starts, it's just going to be up to Jose to find something to do. He does have a Citadel of Adun here, going to get some Zealots and Dragoons here to try to defend this off. Going to start picking away his own Widow Mines. No, he doesn't want that splash damage to work against him if these Zealots get too close and blow up. Going to siege up 5 siege tanks here with a lot of Vultures, and the Protoss army is going to try to run in to avoid taking too much damage from those siege tanks, but it is going to not do very well. Only taking out 2 tanks here, as there are a ton of Vultures here. More factories being added on. Upgrades have started for a Terran player, and yeah, it's going to be extremely tough to macro out of this. This is just going to be pushing so hard and so fast here. replacing those mines, getting some turrets out, just make sure those DTs can't do anything too crazy as he has. No star power. Is going to be relying on turrets and comm stats to defend against the DTs. Well, I guess also Widow Mines do pretty good against cloak units as well. Forgot about those guys, as they aren't particularly popular in fastest unless, of course, you are going for this build that Scan is showing is completely vulnerable versus even the highest level players in our fastest community here. We can see the power of it and just how well it can defend versus early pressure here. And how well, yeah, it can catapult you into a very powerful mid game. We're still under 10 minutes here, and he's at a 100 supply of mech units. The Vulture siege tanks are pretty good. Letting a couple of those Vultures get carried away here, building gateways just to block this Terran army from going up top. But more Widow Mines, turrets, and tanks are pushing forward here. And yeah, we can see the supply of our Protoss player extremely low here. Not looking good here. Another command center going down, just in case this push does somehow fail. But moving forward, moving forward, it is going to be extremely tough for Jose, relying just on Dragoons here without any observers. So these Widow Mines are going to prevent anything too crazy from happening. You can see the Protoss pushing his way up here. Does want to siege in range of those probes here. Dragoons trying to position themselves up here to defend here. And these Vultures take out these cannons before they can get established, pushing these turrets forward and slowly pushing his way into this Protoss base. Not overcommitting, as he knows that he is in such a great position. It is going to be nearly impossible for Jose to hold, but he's also giving Jose some time to remass up here. He does have a lot of Dragoons here on the field, doing what he can, but the Terran is just macroing like a madman back at home. The upgrades are almost done 1-1, getting those turrets all around just in case there was some kind of crazy proxy, knowing that pretty much the only way he can die is if he loses all of his SCVs right now. Jose supply stuck now, not even having enough pylons to continue to reproduce. Templar Arca just going down, but he does have a lot of Dragoons here. This is why the Terran is careful not to overcommit here. There's tons of Widow Mines though. Widow Mines doing a great job protecting these siege tanks, and they're just blowing away all of these Dragoons here. Dragoons doing what they can, but absolutely getting destroyed from this fully established, sieged up Terran army here. Taking out everything in its path, throwing down a scan just to see if there is anything out there that could prevent him from sieging closer. But as he macros forward, even rallying here at the middle, these tanks are just going to inch themselves closer. And once they get in range of those probes, it is going to be GG if it's not GG already. And yeah, just very impressive stuff from Scan here. His Terran is just crazy good here. And going to make this TVP look easy versus one of the best Protoss players in our community, Mr. Gangster Jose here. One final push here for Jose. Going to just try to push these tanks down as much as possible, but they are nearly in range of that next eye, and it doesn't look like Jose is going to have an answer, and it's going to tap out without GGing in classic Jose BM form. And we are going to jump into game number 3. Very well played by Scan. Absolutely crushing it. And yeah, making Jose look like a pubbity pub PC. See you in game number 3. Game number 3, we do have Scan now getting that Protoss versus Jose, who is going to be Zerg, but luckily for Jose, they are going to be in the farthest possible position, so it's going to give him maximum time and also a corner spot to choke, but maximum time for those reinforcements to push over and just for him to be scouted. Everything is going to be good for Mr. Jose. This is the position that you do want as a Zerg versus Protoss player. Drops are going to take a lot longer. Everything is just going to be that much longer for you. So this is also, though, a recipe for a long game. Jose is famous for going into like 2 to 3 hour games here. Just being totally content with turtling. And yeah, just never really going to give up either. And unfortunately, or I guess, I don't really know. Unfortunately for us, I guess, Scan is going to go for that Nexus into the Forge. He is just sticking to his bread and butter builds here. Just using, yeah, his openings are pretty similar, and then he just deviates from there depending on what exactly he scouts here. Usually throws down 2 cannons here just in case there's any kind of crazy Terran pressure. And yeah, we're going to see exactly what happens here. Jose is going to go with a single sunken colony. Not going to be afraid of any crazy pressure, as he has not been scouted, and also a fairly quick gas here. Um, so excellent start here for Jose. Going to get maximum mineral production from here. He is going to see that he is against a Protoss now, and the Protoss is going to see against the Zerg, and they are going to know exactly the positions they are in here. We do see the double gas and Cybernetics Core going down for scan here. So he is going for that very quick tech build, even a third gas here. So going very heavy tech here. Pylon near his front, and a pylon out on the map here. So it looks like he is going to potentially be going for that has to be no, it's going to be just robotics here. So I'm not exactly sure yet. That could be for gateways later on. Do see that Citadel of Adun, the +1 upgrades, and the robotics here. So we'll see if he's going to go for that Dragoon Reaver build. He did this before. Look, actually, Jose canceled his gas too, and is now just getting his gas now with 3 more additional hatcheries. So Jose making some good decisions as well here. Going to get himself in a good late game position. He's going to have Hydras much before any kind of potential drops come for. But we have seen Scan go for the no drop build, just a constant pressure here. But Jose Zerg is no slouch at all. He is very good with his Zerg. And yeah, he is good. We'll see how well he defends. And if this is going to be that Dragoon build, no Dragoon range yet, just getting that robotics support bay, and only one single robo, but he is getting a dropship this time. So we'll see if that is just going to be for the Reavers. Getting that +1 melee, it makes me seem like he does want to pressure. The Hydralisk Den and the 2 Evil Chambers are going to be down, so he's going to be able to get those Hydras and some good 1-1 upgrades up ASAP. Dropship going to come out here. I'm going to load up with 4 Zealots and maybe establish a choke here for the Zerg. Does not want to die to any kind of crazy Hydralisk pressure. Hydras are coming out now right in the nick of time, as this drop had to take so long from those distances that they are in their main. Going to drop off here. Really wants to keep that dropship alive. Oh, these Zealots are going to run in here, but there is Sunkens and Hydra, so this is going to do no damage at all. Those Zealots are going to get a bit of a scout off to see that there is no layer, though, and that the Hydralisk production has started off of 3 gas here. I'm not going to get a hatchery count quite yet, but that is going to buy him a little bit of time to get these cannons up, so these Hydralisks can't go on the offensive in case they did so much desire that. Lots of Zealots being produced. I don't see any Zealot speed yet. Dragoon uprange going down right now, so he went for such quick gas and not really spending it too much. Oh, he did already get the Zealot speed, so he went for a very quick Zealot speed upgrade here. First Reaver is going to be out, and it looks like he's going to try to go for that Reaver Hydra build, or Reaver Zealot build, which we have seen a lot lately, and we did just see from Jose here. 2 Reavers are out. Not going to dare go for the drop right now, knowing that it would be super risky and devastating to lose those Reavers. Do see Zerglings out on the map with the Overlord just defending as well as they can, and the first push is coming in here. Lots of Hydralisks here, going to be able to pick off these Zealots as they try to pick off these Sunkens. A very nice choke here for our Zerg player. Hydras are pushing a little bit too far out on the map here, and these Reavers are going to start pushing away at this main here. You can see in very non-Korean fashion there is a lot of Sunken colonies going down, as he does want that extra DPS on any kind of drops. You get enough Sunken colonies, they can usually pick off those High Templars before they get any drops off. High Templar, though, not going to be a priority for Scan here, as he's on a single Robo still. Building another Robo now out on the map here, but really trying to mass up these Zealots here. Going a heavy Zealot mass, which I don't know how well it's going to do versus all of these Hydralisks here. Still only on 6 additional Nexus here. Really trying to spread out these Sunken colonies as much as possible. which is going to be pretty good versus this mask zealot build here. But yeah, still no clear winner yet. The first push is coming in here, or the first major mass push is coming in here. The Zealot's taking a lot of damage from these spread out sunken colonies. The Reavers, not quite sure. Doesn't want to overcommit once again. But with these Hydras, this is going to push this back very nicely and possibly go on a counterattack here. Not many cannons are out for scan. Would be a little bit worrisome, but Jose does not want to risk it. Going to bring these Hydras back to defend those drops. He does have a Queen Nest and a Spire going out, so he's going to go into those Guardians. Does have his 1-1 completed as well. Another push going to come in here, as Scan does like to pressure as much as he can as a Protoss, which is what you want to do. You don't want the Legendary tech up and mass up too heavily. Reavers coming in here and getting a couple of shots off before backing up, as all of the Zealots have been taken out. But he did take out a fair bit of Sunkens, going to force Jose to rebuild, spend some of those drones on Sunken colonies, starting to get more gas up here. Hive started a while ago, about a quarter of the way done, and the middle Reavers are starting to mass up here. He's getting all of his upgrades good and going. Storm is nearly done, so he's going to start adding some High Templars into here. We'll see if he goes for any more Stargates, so he's going to have to deal with the Guardians coming out soon. A drop comes in there and it's going to get picked off immediately. Only had a single Reaver in there, so not the biggest loss for our Protoss player, but something that he would like to get done. These Lurkers are going to be very nice to help defend here. Of course, they are outranged by those Reavers, but they do excellent against those bunched up Zealots. Also pretty good versus drops, so just that extra DPS with those Sunkens to pick off those Hydralisks. Gonna get a nice spread of Lurkers around here, and yeah, going to just continue to turtle up until he can get his mass number of hatcheries out here. Do see a lot of Dragoons here, and he does have High Templars here with his Reavers. So again, Scan just sticking with that ground army. He is maxed out now. Muta's coming out here and picking off some of these pylons that are around the map to make sure that no Muta run by or Overlords go by too crazily. And the Protoss is continuing to push forward. He does have his observers out to be able to pick off the Lurkers. The Spores are going to prevent them from getting too far in here, but a lot of Mutas are being produced here. Just massing up Mutas and Hydralisks. The Greater Spire is nearly done. So he's going to be able to have some Guardians out. Not going to have a ton of Guardians, as he does not have a ton of gas here. Mutas are going to try to go in there, but take a lot of damage from those storms here. And we can just see that the Protoss is just trying to barrel his way in here. Guardians being produced now. But he may just have enough with these Hydras, depending on where these Scarabs hit. But the Hydras are pushing forward. Nice storms here. Does not want to waste those storms, though, on these Hydras. Does want to keep them for these Guardians, as he does not have much anti-air. Going to rely totally on Dragoons here to stop these Guardians. And I feel like the Guardians are going to do a lot of damage right when he needs them. Not the most anti-air from our Protoss player. Maybe a mistake from Scan. Rely on these Dragoons here. And you can just see how quickly that push was. Oh, very nice storm there from Scan, though. You can see the difference from that one build, or the one last series versus JH, how quickly this build seemed to hit, how much harder it seemed to hit, versus the crossbots, where this is like almost 12 minutes where he did that mass attack here. Just getting Jose that much extra time here, and you can just see how well it pays off for him. Jose holding on like an absolute boss right now. Going to keep himself alive as Scan starts to build these cannons around the map. Really doesn't want to let anything slip out without him knowing. Not the most out here, so not the most anti-air. Continue to build Zealots right now. Gonna rely on High Templars to defend against these Guardians. What the F am I yelling for? Excuse me. And yeah, we are at a little bit of a standstill here, as Jose has held on, and he is in a great position here. Going to start remassing those sunken colonies as he knows that the pressure is not going to stop. Um, doesn't have a crazy amount of drop D2, so I would like to see Scan do those drops here. It just doesn't take too much of your time to go for High Templar drops. Looks like he's going to try to transition into some carriers perhaps here, or just going to get that disruption web with his Corsairs. Also, probably more likely of a case, but with the amount of um, starports he's building, I feel like it could be carriers. Not sure though. Another push though going to come in here for Mr. Scan, wanting to just keep that pressure on despite the Zerg massing up quite a bit. Wouldn't mind seeing some more cannons out front of his choke as well, as the counterattack is going to be coming soon. A ton of Guardians that are just not going to be contested here. He does need to start building from these start ports here, as the Zerg is now going to have the opportunity to push forward. But once again, Jose is not going to overcommit. He does want to get himself fully established here, because he is just one drop away and a couple of storms away from potentially throwing away this lead that he does now, or that he is now starting to grow here. He knows that he's in a corner spot, and he knows it's cross spawn, so it is going to take a while for his units to get over to the other side here. This is just going to be Corsairs, not going to be Dragoons here. Scan is upgraded, or is maxed out, but yeah, not going to have a ton of cannons out here. So I am worried about this counterattack from Jose when it does come, if it does come, if he is going to have the confidence to push out. I feel like versus most other players he would have pushed out already, but really giving Scan his credit here. The highest Templar drops now are going to start going in here, going to actually be loaded up with a lot of units here to really buffer for those High Templars. A couple of slow Zerglings are going to push out here, probably just to clear up some plots, so for some supply for Jose. Jose going to move these Guardians back, as he is famous for reacting to things he can't see. A lot of units are going to be dropped down here. Storm does go down, and it gets 47, 40, almost probably around 50 drones there. He got at least 47 kills there. So not really pulling from there, really relying on those Sunkens and Guardians, and that is going to give Scan an opportunity once again to capitalize on all that damage. That just the drops will start spiraling out of control as well. Tons of Sunkens and Spores being thrown down. Jose just turtling up in classic Jose fashion here, really making it up to the Protoss to get something done here. Scan good. Gonna have to find a way to get some damage done. Getting up those cannons around his main, knowing that a Mutabomb is always possible, always something that the Zerg is thinking about. But right now he just has to rebuild all of those drones that he did lose. You can see the hit on his economy going down here. Protoss does want to pressure with just mass Dragoons here. No more lurkers here, so they're just going to be Guardians and Sunken colonies defending. See how this goes. I don't imagine this is going to kill Jose by any means, as Jose does have a lot of units just back at home defending against those inevitable drops that will be coming out here. Going to force Scan to pull back. Something that we do see a lot from Scan, just does not want to overcommit and lose units for no reason. Pulls them back here. Something that a lot of Stats players don't normally do here. He's at 78 workers here. Going to drop in here. 2 High Templars do get down. 78. Going to kill, what, 45 more drones there. So Jose taking another giant hit to his economy here. Maybe regretting not doing that counterattack sooner, as there was just not much stopping him. He could have definitely re-established map control at least. Taken out most of Scan's robotics facilities, but he does not have many at home. Going for a lot of Arbiters here. So something we've also seen from Scan, loving to get those Arbiters. Maybe going to focus on freezing all of the air instead of killing it, so it's going to take off supply, or possibly going for recalls. Something that he also likes to do. Reaver recalls can be deadly. Doesn't take long for the Reavers to take out a main. So yeah, I'm thinking that's what he might be doing some recalls from this side as he's getting a lot of cannons up from the side position here. I don't know if he upgraded hallucination or anything. I imagine he must have. More guardians being built here. And yeah, so far, Jose just opting to turtle up as much as he can here. Do have the queens out, ready to ensnare. A drop coming in here. Jose up to 98 workers here. Going to drop this High Templars. High Templars are not going to get them off. Those Guardians did make themselves in, or did spawn in a good time there. Just in the nick of time to prevent those high yeah. So yeah, Jose just going to continue to play Sunken D here. At 98 drones, going to ensnare nicely against that drop, and that drop once again is going to fail here. He was pushing in at the front just a little bit. And yeah, High Tumbler's getting in good position, going to try to throw some dropships in from the front here. If those were full, they could have possibly got some work done here. Going to try to keep those High Templars alive. Going for it right now. High Templar, Reaver, and Corsair here. Nice storms on all of these Guardians here. Jose deciding now is the time to push out as he has a very big bank of gas and minerals. Pretty good hatchery count. And yeah, there's no reason for him to turtle any longer here. Just really no reason for it. Scan going to start. Also, we're really interested in seeing what he's going to do with these arbiters. I wonder if he's just going to use them at the front to help cloak up these units. If he's going to try to freeze any kind of guardian balls, or what exactly he is going to do with those arbiters. Arbiters now, it looks like he's going to send 2 down here and then 2 up at the front here. And yeah, we'll see exactly what he does. The Protoss pushing in here. Jose currently supply blocked just a little bit there. A couple of overloads going to get taken out, taken out, and remassing up those Guardians here. One Guardian doing some work here on those cannons. Dragoons are going to pull back here. Going to start killing off some of his workers, as he does have a pretty big bank and wants some extra ground units here. 2 arbs dancing over here and 2 arbs over here. So none did go to the middle. Looks like this is going to be a recall strategy. Guardians pushing forward here. Going to be... all the units are bunching up for that recall. Let's see where he is going to get that done. A couple of Devourers coming out here prematurely as well. It's going to get a recall off here. Not in the greatest position and not the most amount of units. Not really going to get anything done here is Jose. And the game continues. Still, no clear advantage for either player, but Jose going to continue to try to push out of this front, but the Protoss does have it choked up very nicely with lots of Reavers, High Templars, and of course Heirs here, or there usually is Corsairs. Rebuilding more Arbiters here. Another Arbiter recall going to come in over on the side here. Going to do 2 recalls. Did they both recall? That was gosu. How quickly he did that. A lot of High Templars here. Going to go for the worker count. He does have 90 drones. Is pulling some of them. Going to storm and get at least 40 once again here. 30 to 40 drones there. So maybe worth it. And these Reavers are still alive pushing away. Meanwhile, though, he is taking out everything at the front here. So both players hurting each other quite a bit here. Going to take out some map control. But these Reavers could be pushing a little bit farther forward. These Reavers currently being left to die by these Guardians. And are going to get cleaned up here. Once again, I can't believe I'm fucking yawning right now. Sorry once again for those yawns. This isn't a boring game. It is just, I don't even know what. I slept like a baby last night. Jose, though, playing very nicely here. Trying to take the lead once again. It is currently tied 1-1, and he did win that first game. It would be a big-time win if he is able to get a Zerg versus Protoss win here. It's looking like he may be able to do that as these Hydra, or these Zerg Guardians and Hydra slowly make their way across the map. He's basically maxed on Guardians right now. And Guardians are pretty good versus Dragoons. Luckily for Jose, there is some Overlords here as well to help detect versus these Reavers, and not the match, or not the fight you want to have as a Protoss player, is Dragoons. You need High Templars. He is building carriers, though. I did miss that. So he's going to have carriers. I don't know if that's exactly the units he wants either, but he may be able to clean up all of these Guardians, as there is just a shit ton of Guardians and only 3 Devourers out on the map here. The Reavers are Arbiter doing a nice job freezing up, preventing himself from taking significant damage here as these carriers build up his interceptors. Nicely done here. Going to lower those numbers for our Zerg player. But the Guardians staying out of range of the Dragoons is making them, a lot of them freak out, and Hydras are coming in to reinforce here. Nexus is being thrown down around the map here, so Scan potentially thinking he may lose his main, but wants to start rebuilding gateways in case he does take significant damage here. High Templars are out, almost ready for a storm here. Carrier's gonna be forced to help defend against this. More mutas are coming out here, going to turn into Guardians as mutas move a lot faster than Guardians do. Guardians unfreezing now, going to be able to start chipping away at this unit. The Carrier's taking out those Hydralisks. Zerglings are coming in here, but they are going to be a journey away here. I don't know if I missed a drop or if Jose just did not rebuild some of his drones. He's only at 46 drones there, and you can see that his mineral bank is really low here as he's just been trying to mass up. Taking the gas expansion up here, wants more gas, something that is fairly common. Zergs can start expanding in these later games here. Guardians, though, doing a pretty good job here. But he is versus a lot of Carriers and Corsairs here, so going to be a lot of wasted gas here. We'll see if they can make themselves worth it. Beautiful storm going to go down there, hurting up a lot of units. More storms going to go down here, and these Guardians are falling like flies here, not getting the damage they want. And the Protoss, it's definitely going to defend this. The Zerg just unable to move forward. Another beautiful storm getting thrown down here by our Protoss player here. He is on the defensive, but he is over the map right now. Jose not pushing forward, just trying to hold that choke here. He did rebuild another round of drones here, but still fairly low on minerals. He is starting to get those defilers up. Defiler, Swarm, and Plague, something excellent versus the Protoss Air. A lot of Corsairs out here to help defend versus any Devourers and help to clear up all of those Guardians that were up in his base. Overlord's going to start spreading out to get some map control. Scan is massing cannons all over the map here. Corsair is going to come down here and clear that up. And yeah, we have ourselves a potentially very long game. We're already half an hour into this, and still no clear winner in sight here. The Arbiter plan didn't really work, and his push plan looks like he's going to try to transition into that mass air. Take a quick little bite of poppycorn while this game continues. I guess what we can actually do, we can look at the scan cam while we do that. Oh no, you can't do that unless you're live, can you? Corsair is going to come in here, going to get ensnared. I'll just take a bite. We got a big old bag of Colonel's popcorn. I don't know if you guys got that outside of the camera. But that's my favorite popcorn. We got some cheesy cheddar dill. Trying to kill off these Corsairs, but they are staying alive. Carriers AFK in a little bit. Looks like they're going to try to attack here. But Defilers, Devourers, Queens, and Spores are going to do their best to defend that. Starting to mass up here in the top left. The Carrier's going to be good, though, with Arbiters if he's going to start recalling. Moving out, though, right as these Carriers come in here, going to ensnare them. The Carriers look like they want to go for that main. And the main could be absolutely devastating. Not going to be too much. None of the units are actually in position right now. So they are potentially going to get this main here. Throwing down a swarm on it. But that doesn't help. Down to 300 HP. Definitely going to go down here. 100 HP. And the main is down. Jose taking the first significant blow in this game here. Losing his main. And as the game gets on longer. Not saying it's out of the realm of possibilities to win. Picking off these what are these fucking things called? Greater Spires out right now. Is Scan doing what he can with his carriers before all of his intercepts get taken out. Some DTs coming up here to clear this out. Guardians coming out over here. Lots of high tempo here to defend, and even recalls his carriers. Very ghostly stuff here. Gonna keep them all alive to help defend. Jose trying to take over the middle of the map. Lots of throw. I'm gonna go down, clear out these Guardians. Get your popcorn out, boys, because we have ourselves a game here. But as of right now, it looks like Scan is in the lead, but still, Jose going to have a big mass coming up here. And he is really going to try to break the Protoss player here. We'll see if he can do it. Using mute is not the best thing. Looks like he's just running them in kind of AFK-ly. Lots of storms going down, just absolutely shredding up this ground army. And yeah, the minerals of Jose are definitely going to go down here. This is the time where I would like to see more drops coming in now, as drops can just be brutal versus your no main Zerg player. They just take so much minerals to remass and constantly be streaming in units, as cost inefficiently as you will be when you are against Reavers, Arbiters, High Templars. All these splash damage that can just shred up Zerg units. All of that area of effect damage, like the Storm, the Reavers, the splash damage. Protoss pretty good at defending. We can see that the gas expansion was taken out for Mr. Jose. Up to 81 drones he is. And yeah, he's going to just try to do what he can to break. But Scan just not going to rush out here. Trying to mass up in the middle of the map. Wants that shorter distance to reinforce. Protoss is going to start pushing out here. We'll see if we see any plagues out here. Reaver is jumping in there like noobs, actually picking off some of those defilers. That was a target attack for sure. Nice target on that. Both Reavers can splash them down pretty badly here. Yeah, right now just the Protoss is just chilling. They're going to push forward once again here, but yeah, Guardians versus Carriers and High Templar once again not going to be what he wants here. Scans are pretty low on supply, remassing up scouts right now. Interesting choice here. We'll see how well that does, but maybe Jose is actually going to break in here. All of the High Templars have fallen here, and no more High Templars here. Freezes are going to go down. He does have a big enough bank to continue to reinforce here. He's actually breaking the Protoss player right here. Big mistakes here from Scan, possibly going to cost him the game, even though he has the main here. Don't know what these scouts are going to do here. You don't see scouts very often, but maybe they will be okay. Lots of Dark Swarms going down here. The Hydralisks did get taken out. Plague's going to go down here, but the Zerg has broken the Terran or the Protoss choke for the most part here. We'll see how well these scouts do. The scouts are going to be the last defense here of Scan. But versus Swarmed Hydras, it's just not going to be very good. Versus Hydras without Swarm, it's not going to be very good. DTs, though, going to be pretty good. Zealots, even underneath that, are going to be facing those Zerglings. Lots of hold positions, Hydras underneath there. It's going to pick off these Interceptors. And these Scouts here. I don't know what Scan was thinking going for the Scouts here. he didn't have any robotics facilities at home, and he had no Reavers to deal with all of these Hydras. It looks like Jose is actually going to win this game. Jose with a little smile on his face, and is actually going to take that game there. Surprisingly, yeah, I don't know what Scan was thinking going for those scouts, and I think even Jose was surprised with himself there, getting that win with that little cheeky smile that he did, and he's actually going to go up 2-1 versus Scan in a big upset, Zerg versus Protoss. So don't sleep on Jose. As much as I hate the guy, don't sleep on him. He's going to go up 2-1 versus Scan. We'll see how Scan responds in game number 4. GG. Game number 4, we have Scan as Terran versus Jose as Zerg once again. We'll see if these middle spots with Zerg are just so annoying because you have to get those 4 Sunkens basically no matter what. I guess maybe not versus the Terran, but versus the Protoss you definitely have to do it. I don't even know if you can get away with 1 Sunken colony at the beginning, but we'll see how Jose decides to play this. Scan going to be Terran. He has been going for that quick factory, the 1 barracks factory, very often, almost every game. I don't even think I've seen him go for the Marine build at all that I can remember off the top of my head. We'll see if he's going to throw down that gas right away. Yes, he is. So once again, we're going to see that factory, and the factory build is even stronger versus the Zerg, I think. Unless the Zerg is going to like Muta Rush or something, it's just absolutely devastating. I wonder if that will be the future of Terran openings that we'll see from now on. A Scan is showing that it can beat the best players, and yeah, going to really be possibly the most optimum build as Terran. So he's definitely going to get that triple factory down. Jose going to go for that single Sunken at the front here. Always seems to make those proper decisions versus Terran and versus Zerg. As Protoss, I'm sure he would have done it at the side here, but Jose going to magically decide to make the right choice and get that Sunken colony up at the front as he is up against a Terran. And is going to see that he is up against a Terran. That Marine is going to scout the exact location of him. Going to definitely, yeah, lift up that barracks as he knows he is not going to need any more Marines. Sometimes you want to keep that producing Marines versus the Protoss pressure, as it does help with the DPS. And I'm going to go for the double machine shop. Not even going to bother getting any vultures here. So we can see the difference as he likes to react a lot differently versus what he's going on, and he knows how to adapt like a straight up killer that he is. Going to get that command center up here, and going to go right into those tanks. Jose getting 4 hatcheries, not worrying too much about any kind of pressure, and really maximizing his dronage at the beginning of the game and not overcommitting to any Sunken colony. He's going to get that Hydralisk den out. Looks like he may be going for a very quick Hydralisk build. A Hydra mass can throw the Terran off guard here. Going to float that barracks all the way over to the Zerg player and scout exactly the timings of everything that's going on. Another hatchery being thrown down from Jose, and the tank siege has begun here. Getting the Vulture upgrades as well, so it looks like he's going to go for the tank Vulture. It's up to Jose now, who is just massing up Hydralisk here. Going to use a Hydralisk to pick off these floating units, and does want to overpower with just pure Hydralisk Den. This can absolutely be a devastating build here. The 5 hatchery Hydra can be good. We'll see if Scan is going to have enough tanks and vultures to hold on here. Building a lot of vultures to get those Widow Mines up and help protect those tanks as while his gas number gets higher and higher. Going to build another 2 factories, so he's going to be up to 6 factories here, which is good stuff while he continues to plow away at the front here. You can see Jose massing up Hydras. He does want to break. We do see a Scan going down. He's going to see that there is no layer, so it's either going to be a crazy amount of Zerglings, which I don't think is going to be the case, or it's going to be Hydra. So Scan is going to know what he's up against, and I imagine he's going to build a couple of extra siege tanks to follow this up. Going to throw down all those spider mines to prevent any kind of crazy counterattack. Of course, Zerg will have the Overlords to detect that, but still going to be somewhat of an issue. A couple of turrets coming up in case there is some kind of quick mutas up, but Not going to overcommit to the turrets, as he did see that there was no layer started here. Just going to have to deal with mass Hydralisks here. Jose going to have a whole shit ton of Hydralisks. Hydralisks are fairly vulnerable to siege tanks, but when the numbers are this high, you outnumber the tanks that much. There's only 2 siege tanks right now in the mix here. Going to have 4 siege tanks now and a lot of vultures, so it's very well possible that Jose can overpower this. He is up 2-1. This is a best of 7. So if Jose could pull this off, I will be officially worried for Scan. Going to, yeah, continue to macro nicely at home, getting his upgrade started right now. The tank upgrades, like they do 70 damage right now. I think it was 2 upgrades, 3 upgrades. They do 80. They get almost one-shot Hydralisks. We do see that push out now for these Hydralisks going to try to overpower the Terran army. Widow mines and siege tanks here. There's so many Widow mines here, picking off most of these siege tanks. Going to push this back quite a bit here. But the Widow mines are going to get some big hits on these Hydralisks, but he is going to break the Terran push right now. Continuing to reinforce here. The Terran forced to start sieging up back at home. Jose doesn't know exactly where Scan is, though, so this is going to buy Scans even more time to get at least 4 more siege tanks out here. So that is going to be a good call for Mr. Jose. Jose going to come in here now. In the choke, though, location, this corner choke is a lot more scarier than this fat choke of the Zerg pushing out here. So he's going to have to regroup here. And it's going to be a fine line of macroing and massing up units here. We'll see if he wants to try to break or if he's going to try to macro out of this. I think he's going to try to macro out of this and getting that queen nest and the spire out. A Scan going to go down and see exactly what's going on back at home. See exactly how much the Zerg is committing to this push here. And he is going to react accordingly. I don't think he was expecting that Hydralisk push. And is going to reset that Protoss, or that Terran army, which can be devastating. Is going to move forward, though. He does have a lot of tanks out here. He does want to reestablish the map pressure, or the map control, and the pressure here. Throwing down some starports now, as he did see that Spire is coming out here. We want to get those Valkyries or vessels out at the very minimum here. A couple of Hydras going to go over here, waiting for a counter or a possible flank here, trying to get those Sunkens up and the creep farther out to buy himself some time, getting a couple more hatcheries out. Jose playing very nicely here. A couple more scans going down for Scan to check out the exact progress of our Zerg player. Getting a couple of turrets up in case there is any kind of cheeky lurker drops or anything. And yeah, going to start getting those air upgrades as well. He is not the biggest supply lead that he would want at this moment here. We'll see when he decides to push out. He is giving the Zerg a lot of time to rebuild this choke area, not pressuring as much as he possibly could. Probably afraid that there may be getting attacked out of position here. It is always scary to move your tanks across the map. If they do get surrounded, they could be all destroyed here. Looks like it's going to be, I guess we're still not completely sure. Getting a lot of starports out though now. Going to be Valkyries. He's going to use the Valkyries to help counter that air. Valkyrie siege tank, pretty good combination with those vessels. Tanks are going to start sieging up here outside of that Zerg base here. Couple of Hydras now are going to be activated to try to move out, maybe get some counterattacks out here, as there is not much out here for the flank. Going to fight some of these siege tanks that are on siege. This is what you're afraid of. Tanks on siege are not the best versus Hydralisks. Widow Mine's going to get some big shots off versus these Hydras, and that counterattack is not going to be too much damage as the Terran continues to barrel forward here. Building up some Sunkens and everything he can while his mutas are being built here. Gonna look like he's gonna go for Muta Scourge here. Going to start picking off some of these tanks here before these Valkyries can help out here. And once again, Jose looks like he is going to be able to push this back here with his Muta Hydralisk build here. So Jose playing like an absolute champ right now. A quick pause. Jose, also famous for doing weird stuff like that, pausing for a dumb amount of times. He is a BM monster. Scan will give him a countdown, and Jose miraculously comes back and unpauses without saying a word. Just like the little dickhead that he is. He's gosu, but he is a dickhead. Valkyrie's going to be now here. Doesn't want to overcommit with them, but they are going to be here versus these Mutas. Going to build Devourers here. And, okay, Guardians and Devourers. Going to try to mass into that. Just getting that Defiler Den a little late here on the Defiler Den. Scan nearly maxed out on tanks. And going to want to, yeah, they get a lot of Valkyries here. Sieging up right in the choke here. Getting closer and closer here. A couple of Defiler Consumes being built. No Defilers quite yet. Also getting some Goliaths here to help fight against these Guardians. Valkyries, very good also versus Guardians, especially in this number. The Scourges are coming in here. Didn't do a crazy amount of damage. These Guardians are all bunched up though. Going to take a lot of damage. Scourge coming in here once again, but not splitting them up. Going to target like 12 of them on one single Valkyrie there. So not the best micro from Mr. Jose there. And now going to move forward and start picking off some of these overlords here. Mutas are going to spawn out and try to fight them. Not always the best idea, but some of those Valkyries are glitching out a little bit here. Tanks inching forward once again, starting to take out hatchery. Is going to really slow down the production of our Zerg player. You can see he's starting to throw hatcheries now back in the back of his base, as he does need those hatcheries to continue to rebuild here. Valkyries though and tanks this far in your base, never something fun to deal with here. Lots of siege tanks being produced back at home. And Jose's really going to need those Defilers out here. Defiler Den is going to go down, so one of the Defilers that he did build, which I'm not seeing many Defilers out. I don't even know if he got any out in that time that it was alive and going. Going to rely on Mutas once again to try to pick off these Valkyries. A second round of Valkyries in production here. There may just be enough Mutas to start picking off these tanks here. But are the tanks going to be able to get in range of that main? They are moving forward, inching closer and closer. They are going to be in range of the main. I don't know if they'll be in range of all of the drones, though. Some of them may be. Not targeting the main quite yet, just trying to pick off the drones. There we go. I believe he has started to target the main. A scan is going to go down here to make sure that he can reach it. Valkyrie trying to prevent these Mutas from coming in, but looks like Jose is going to potentially lose his main once again. Down to 275 supply, but he is going to have to deal with mass Mutas. And if he is able to keep this main alive and have all these mass Mutas, there may be a possibility that he can get a counterattack off. But mass Valkyries are just pretty good versus that. He does have a shit ton of starports out, shit ton of Valkyries out that are at 1-1 versus 0-0. So these Valkyries are going to do work versus these Mutas here, especially if they start clumping up. More siege tanks going to run in here to try to finish off that main. Now that is just so low here. Valkyrie is now picking off these Mutas. Tank's not going to overcommit though. Once again, sieging up. We do have an Ultralist out on the floor here. These hatcheries that he started to build back at home, saving his life right now. The Valkyries though are having a rough time versus this number of Mutas, but at the same time, they are doing just fine, picking off these Mutas like butter. But Jose miraculously holding on once again, just refusing to die. His Zerg is just very hard to kill here. And he is going to clear up all the ground here. Scam throwing a little counter smile back at him, knowing that he is in a great position here. And just continuing to just plow away at Mr. Jose here. Jose not able to get his Valkyrie production up here. These Valkyries out on Overlord hunting. Really just wants to do as much damage as he can. Going to be Ultralist Zerglings. Does have his Defiler Mound rebuilt here, but we are just going to wait for that second round of Tank Valkyrie to push forward. He does have a shit ton of Valkyries now, so the transition into Ultralist is very smart from Jose here. He can basically sacrifice these Valkyries. Muted, or the only Overlords that are out on the map are around here. Going to pick off these Overlords right as they spawn here. And yeah, it is not not good for Jose. Down to 88 Overlord supply. He is supply stuck once again. Gonna have to focus a lot of his larvae on these Overlords, and the tanks are pushing forward once again. Defilers are out here. Is it going to be enough to push off once again? It looks like it just might be enough. Jose just scraping by. Good tech transition here, but not going to be able to have anything to prevent these Overlords from dying here. Once these ultras die, he's not going to be able to basically reproduce here. And tank Valkyrie. Now the vessel's coming out here for our Zerg player. The tanks going to pick off those ultras here. Going to really depend on these defilers here. The Valkyries move out right as these Overlords get produced here, but he's at 67 supply to a 200 Terran supply here. And the Terran is just a matter of time before he can kill the Zerg player, but the Zerg not going to give up here, obviously. Do have Overlords over here. They are just trying to stay alive. They aren't trying to drop. A bunch of scans going down for a scan. He is going to push forward. Once again here, siege up in mode, in range, but going to be Defiler Ultra once again here for Jose. Going to push these tanks back as far as they can here. But once they're out of swarm, actually, you know what? They may not do too bad versus these tanks. And actually is going to clear it up once again. I'll be amazed if effing Jose wins this one too here. He is going to go on the counter attack here. But he's only at 118 supply and he's only at 10 drones here. So what? He must have got, he must have got eradicated. Yeah, these vessels must have killed all of these drones. Yeah, they definitely did win in there. I don't know how I missed that. But without all the no anti-air here, these Valkyries notice that there's nothing in here. Jose's going to do one final push here, but not going to be able to kill Scan. Scan's 100% going to re-tie up this series 2-2 here. Very nicely done by Jose, though. I thought he was dead a long time ago, but he just does not give up. Zergling's trying to stream in here with some Ultralisk, but without Defiler, it's just not going to be enough. And yeah, just going to be picked off, continuing to scan around the map, picking off the Overlords. Once again, Jose down to 31 supply, and he is going to leave the game without saying GG, despite Scan saying GG every single time. Just classic dickhead. Jose going to lose that series. Or not that series, that game. And we are tied up 2-2. So, yeah, we'll jump into game number 5. We'll see if Jose can stay his winning ways, or Scan's going to turn it up now and crush that BM loser. Game number 5, we got Jose, and we got Scan. Scan going to be Protoss, Jose going to be Terran. Very close positions this time. Jose has done these middle barracks builds to pressure, but not going to do that this time. Going to play safely, get his barracks up back at home. Going to go for the barracks build, though. Looks like it's possibly going to be 4 barracks, and Scan going to go for the 3 barracks this time. So both these players now switching up their builds. So I guess we haven't seen Jose's Terran yet. He's just looking at all those chokes to see if he's up against a Zerg here, but he is going to be up against a Protoss. The first scouting zealot is going to locate our Terran player here, and is going to be able to start pressuring. Just going on 3 gateways, though. See if he's going to throw down a forge, or what exactly his plan is going to be. Going to throw down a pylon at his choke, knowing that Marines can outnumber these zealots, or out-micro those zealots if their numbers get too high, and also throw down a nexus here. So not going to pressure too much here, just going to use those 3 gateways to be able to apply some pressure just in case here. But yeah, just going to distract until he can get his choke up. No way that this is going to kill Jose, who has nice Sim City with a nice bunker here. We'll see if he tries to do a cannon push or not, but I don't think he is going to, since he is throwing down his Cybernetics core and 2 gateways. We'll see if it is going to be a Dragoon build. See if he's going to try to take the Tyrant choke and then pressure with Dragoons. Jose gonna get his Academy up. Another bunker just in case anything too crazy does happen. He's going to be able to get his medics and fire bats up to prevent any death to zealots. Going to throw down 4 cannons here, so does not want to die to any kind of pressure. His second nexus is up, and he is getting a 3rd gas here, so he's definitely going to be teching into maybe something more than Dragoons here. Not exactly sure. The 2 gas is more than enough to typically go for drops, but going to possibly do something else here. Yet to be seen. I think he's going to throw down a Robo. We'll see exactly. He does have the gas for a Robo. No Robo thrown down yet, though. There we go. We do see the Roblox facility thrown down here, and we do have Jose, who has masked up a good army from his 3 barracks. He has Firebats, Medics, Stim. He is good to go. He's going to reestablish that choke and start turtling up into the later game. Throwing down his triple Nexus and getting his Engineering Bay up and a Starport. So it looks like he may be thinking about going for some drops while he techs up and retakes his choke here. Do see the Robotics and Templar of Archives being thrown down. We're going to have 2 Robos here, and I imagine we're going to see a Gateway Boom come out here for Mr. Scan here. Scan going to see that he's probably not going to be able to break that. A good little choke here for Jose here. Engineering Bay going to float in and see that all the tech up and going for our Protoss player, and he's going to start throwing up some turrets around his base here. Another pause from these players, which isn't a problem. Cannons going around on the map, knowing that a tank drop is a very big possibility. Lots of turrets, and now a little bit of a depot wall going to go down here. So we do have the first Reavers out here much before, and I guess siege mode is out, so he's not going to be able to break down the front here. See if he's going to go for a front. He's going to try to go for the frontal still, but there is a ton here. And we do have a tank drop coming in here for Jose. There is some Dragoons in good position and a cannon that is going to pick it off before it is dropped. So not going to be a successful drop here. Something else is being produced in there. A Wraith is actually being produced in there. Interesting enough maybe to start picking off those drops as they come in. Lots of gateways being thrown down, and High Templar, so he's going to be going for some storm drops here. And yeah, we shall see exactly what is going to go on. Jose pretty good at turtling up here. So we'll see if Scan can get some damage done, or if he's going to have to go into that carrier transition. What exactly his plan is. Another drop coming in here for Jose. Going to be able to possibly siege up here and get a shot off. Only going to get 4, though. Pick the wrong side to shoot, unfortunately for him. And looks like his drop failed as well. I don't see many injured SCV, so I don't know if he just dropped and ran into that those turrets without Corsair. I think it's possible that those Corsair got distracted by that drop, or that these Marines just stimmed and picked it off. Lots of barracks getting thrown up, and another factory here. So Jose going to rely on a lot of Marines here. Starports being thrown up here on the other thing, so he is going to possibly transition into some carriers. Getting lots of pylons out on the map, just in case he does get pushed out on. Another drop getting in there, but not going to do any damage. I did miss that, but isn't going to land regardless. And both these players are once again turtling up for the most part. Looks like this drop is going to be actually quite a big drop here, but he's going to drop in that same location here. Not going to go from the top or anything else, knowing that there is a ton of marines and turrets here. See exactly if this can do anything. Going to drop right on top of these turrets and actually land a lot of zealots, so that is going to be a pretty good here. Going to be able to clear up these turrets, possibly some of these engineering bays, maybe cancel those upgrades. Jose going for a lot of barracks here. Going to go heavy into marine with only a few tanks. He does have a pretty misplaced factories here. Going to just try to rely on mass marines here, maybe. Another drop getting ready to go in here. Jose does have an 89 SCV, so he's taken no damage so far. Getting himself in a good position. Doesn't have a good factory count, but still going to pick off that dropship that does have the High Templar in it. Going to try to drop these zealots on top of the SCVs to get the splash damage going. Jose smartly unsieges, but he did kill a couple of his own SCVs there. So very nicely done from Scan here. Losing his High Templars, but still able to kill some of those workers. Lots of starports are being created as he continues to drop here. Jose 100% on the defensive, as we have seen most of the game. Another drop going to come in here. Two High Templars are in. High Templar are going to drop Jose up to 68. Misclick there for sure. He clicked on the command center instead of the drones. He could have gotten some kills there, but instead not going to get basically any kills. And then you got 2 total. So not good here. The High Templar does live. If that had some more energy there, it could have been devastating. 3 High Templars in this one this time. See how it goes. A nice disruption web going to go down on those marines here. Going to drop on top of those workers. Splash damage going to take out 20 or so SCV. Jose does pull quite a few there, but is going to take some damage there. Also going to hurt his main a little bit with that splash damage. Got to be careful with that as Jose. So it looks like he's going to be dropping into mass carrier here. Does have his air upgrades spinning. Does have his ground upgrades going. A couple of scans going to go down. A lot of barracks here for Jose. Just needs a couple more factories. And he may eventually be able to start pushing out here. Let's see if he's able to push out before these carriers get out. Another drop over here. A couple of zealots going to go down. High Templar drop, but too many marines here are going to pick that all off. More scans going down here. Ooh. Not yet any carrier production yet. Cannons coming down here. No dropping does he want. He is getting some dropships, so queued up 4 dropships. Another massive drop coming in here with a lot of High Templars. Going to storm his way to that main potentially. Enough to storm everything. Would be a pretty crazy EMP if we did see it. EMP does go down, picking up a lot of them, but still more storms are being taken out. Luckily for Jose, he did pull quite a bit of his workers here. Not going to take substantial damage once again, but taking out a lot of those turrets and possibly this upgrade. No, not even targeting that. It isn't going to go falling down here. Another mass drop being loaded up here. Wonder when he's going to start queuing up for those carriers. I know that is going to be his plan here, but right now I feel like he feels like he's getting some work done with the drops here. Another big drop going to come in here. Going to drop out of range of all of those siege tanks here, and going to use these units to buffer for these High Templars that are going to come down here. 77 going to be dropped right on top of it. Going to do a big storms there. Going to kill 30 or so SCVs here. So Jose taking some damage for sure. No covert apps or anything. Really stacking up these dropships. So he does want to go for a big time drop here. Still no carrier production started. More scans going to go down. Jose going to just have to keep deflecting these drops here. Another big drop. Looks like it's being loaded up right now. Marines positioning themselves to be able to get as much damage against these drops as they can before they start unloading here. Another massive drop, loading up. Wouldn't mind if he brought those carriers in there, or those reavers in there as well. This is going to be spotted by Jose. Jose is going to stem up, but not in time. These drops are going to get off here. One Marine and two bunkers even being built for defense here, so Jose definitely not happy. And a big storm going down there, actually bringing Jose down to 13 SCVs there. Let me just rewind that a little bit because I do want to see that actually. I was so distracted by those bunkers here. Slow-mo. Alright, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? We've seen this, we've seen this, we've seen this. Loading up, loading up. Alright, here we go. This is the drop. So Jose up to 58 drones right now. These guys do slip in here and do drop the rest of the units over here. This does go down. There we go. Okay. So he did just drop half of the units there and then the rest of the half over here. Nicely done by Scan, getting a lot of workers done. And that's going to set Jose back into the Stone Age here. He is going to use this time now to go into the carrier. So he's decided that now is the time here. He must have spotted all of these dropships as he's starting to just mass cannons up around here. Does not want to get dropped here. Gonna let those two more dropships get picked off here. And he's just going full carriers here. A bunch of scans going down. I'm sure Jose scanned that. And it looks like he's going to just rely on Marines to defend this. His bank is shot. It does have a lot of gas, but yeah, not exactly what you want. Scan starting to take over. Map control once again. And the carriers are coming in here. I don't know if Jose is going to have enough Marine medic to deal with this. No anti-air, no ghosts, no Goliath, nothing that you typically see versus the thing. Oh, I guess we do see ghosts out now, but going to go right for that main. Going to be able to pick that off here. Maybe not. We actually do have a stacked. We do have a stack repair here from Jose. So Jose actually going to be able to keep his main alive. So Jose. Gosu stuff there from Jose. And now Scan's going to go into Reavers. Those carriers did basically no damage, so very nicely done by the Turtle Master Jose. Marines, though, aren't very good at doing much here. These drops, a couple of Terran dropships going to be here, filled up with tanks. Pushing in with basically all High Templars here. High Templars can't kill bunkers though. Reaver's getting some work done. Do see it's a drop from Jose going to come in here. Going to try to siege up. He actually does pick off all of the workers here from Scan, but that could be... I don't even know. A ton of Arbiters being built here as well. He is breaking through the front here with his Reaver High Templars. Seeing that there isn't many siege tanks out here. Not fun when you lose your choke as a Terran player. This usually is the beginning of the end when you've lost your choke here. A lot of High Templars are going to suicide scan or suicide storm themselves in here. And yeah, it looks like he's maybe going to go for a mass recall here. And once again, target that main. We do have the vessels coming out for EMPs. A lot of Arbiters going to be over here. Going to send 2 in here. Going to get that recall off. Going to be a lot of Zealots there. I'm going to circle up for another one after he takes out, clears the path for his rest of his Arbiters here. and just really targeting this bottom corner. Jose, though, meantime, pushing out here as well here for his first push out of the game. 25 minutes is the usual time it takes Jose to push out of his base here. Another recall going to come in here. Going to recall very close to that main here. Not much defense here either this time. And Scan's actually going to GG out of this. I did not expect that. Jose, once again, going to win the game and go up 3-2 versus Scan. So Jose's actually going to be on game point now. So very nicely done by Jose. Taking, just turtling up until he's ready to go and then leaving. Maybe a little premature from Scan. But yeah, that is going to be a Jose win there. Surprising. So we got game number 6 here. Jose going to be Protoss once again. And Scan is going to be Terran. So we'll see if Jose can learn here. The Protoss is this series they've been having a trouble versus Terrans. And Scan's factory build is undefeated so far versus both Protoss or versus Zerg and Terran. So Scan's Terran is dangerous here. Looks like it looks like it's going to be that same factory build. Why wouldn't he do it if it's just dominating this hard here? And he's going to be versus the Nexus First from Jose here. So the Nexus First does have a little bit of a better chance. Going for the 4 Gateway though, I don't know how good that is versus it, because that's just going to be a later, better macro version of it. He may have a better chance of putting it into the later game. I guess he didn't do the worst job that first game, but yeah, pressuring this build doesn't seem to be successful at all. And our Terran player is going to now scout the Protoss, who is going into that 5 Gateway. Nexus First 5 Gateway is going to be scouted here, and he is going to be able to get his 3 factories up without too much problems here. These vultures will 100% be out in time. Going to send those Marines home. And he is going to keep his FCV alive here. So nicely done here. Actually, never mind where they say that he loses it. So it would be nice if he did keep that alive just to get that maximum scouting off. But he has bigger things to deal with at home. Getting that very early tech art or machine shop there. And I'm going to send 1 vulture across the map here. Potentially going to be able to get some probe kills here. Going to, though, pick off that probe first. Does not want any cannons being built up in the map or anything like that. Zealots going all across the map to scout for this Terran player. And this vulture is going to pick off 1 more probe before potentially getting picked off here. 1 zealot is finding in there. Vulture is going to keep himself alive, not going to be able to get too many worker kills, I don't think. 2 gas and a cybernetics core is going up here. Vulture does fall here. So going to possibly go into the Dragoon or Zealot speed. We'll see exactly what he decides to do here. More vultures out on the map here, going to start picking away. We're picking off some of these Zealots here. And yeah, not going to be fun for Jose. Just tough to micro against this, aka basically impossible. You have to hope that the Terran makes some mistakes here, as these vultures can kite these zealots forever. Getting his 4th barracks up and his command center up here, so very all nice stuff here for Mr. Scan here. And Scan actually is going to run up here, and these vultures are going to be devastating against these probes here. Picking off 3 or 4 already. Going to corner themselves a little bit. Yeah, and the Zealot production is continuing. He's going to get that Citadel of Adun to get that Zealot speed here. Massing up more and more vultures. Picking off more and more probes. So Scan had a very nice start here. Getting tons of worker damage done here. And picking off, what, I don't know, like 10 or more probes so far. Almost tied with the Terran in worker count despite going for that Nexus first here. More vultures going to be coming out here. I'm going to start laying down some Widow Mines, picking off another probe there. And most of those Widow Mines go down without doing too much damage. But I think this next round is going to do tons of damage, killing off almost all of those zealots here. Very nicely done. These vultures on fastest. I love them. Pretty good wall here, but definitely still more opportunities for these vultures to get in there, throwing down a bunch of Widow Mines here. Going to try to take out this cannon, and then maybe get some more probes killed here. Picking off some of these probes that are on the gas. A couple of these Dragoons do spawn out here. One dies to the Widow Mines that were parked up here. Going to target some more probes down. Oh no, they're going to die to some cannons here. So not the best clicking here, but more reinforcements are coming in, laying down Widow Mines so aggressively here. Dragoon range and Zealot speed are going to be the counter that Jose tries to go with, but just mass vultures right now doing work here, not even getting any siege tanks quite yet, just pure vulture mayhem right now. And yeah, just really making it almost impossible for Jose to move around on this map. Does need to get some observers out or something to deal with these Widow Mines, as these Widow Mines are just destroying the Protoss here. No cannons either from Jose. Going to get that a dropship out here. Don't see a robotics facility though here, or robotics support bay here. Cannon's now trying to get up here, but that is a lot of vultures up in your grill here. And these Widow Mines are just picking off these Dragoons before they even get a chance to breathe. Lots of damage being done here. And this may just be enough vultures alone here. Not even going to need any siege tanks. Really going to humiliate Jose on his match point here. And it looks like we are going to be going into a Game 7. Still not completely over yet, as Jose has won some games where I thought he was going to die. Like I thought he was going to die in 2 of those games that he won already. But you can see the supply is just getting a little out of hand. He's building so many factories back at home. He's at that triple. He's been macroing like an absolute beast back at home here while applying so much pressure. And now the tanks have arrived here. Going to try to get that Reaver out. Engineering Bay just getting up now. So if he is able to somehow get this drop off, he could possibly defeat Scan in this series here. Which would be pretty wild stuff here. The drop is nearly done here. And he is definitely going to go right for that Terran minerals. Nothing back at home other than a single barracks here for our Terran player, who is also a little supply stuck. Going to throw down 4 depots right now as these tanks slowly push away on the barracks here. The Reaver is out. I'm going to start putting those Scarabs and definitely going to be making its way across the map. Scan does go down though, and it's going to spot that dropship here. The drop is going to try to... Oh my goodness. Okay, wow. That wasn't a good idea. Tried to use that Reaver to defend. I guess wanting to just live as long as possible, when I really think the play was to do a counterattack here. But yeah, that is not going to work out for Jose. Jose, though, really good at holding on. And once again, looks like he may be able to clean this up somehow with his non-stop Zealot production here. And Scan going to have to start reinforcing a little bit more here. Cannot afford to keep... I guess he can afford to, but doesn't want to, since he's built himself such a good, strong lead here. He has himself in the Protoss base. He's at 70 workers though, so he's just been macroing so well at home, scanning everything, just not overcommitting, I guess, pressuring as much as he needs to. Vultures, tanks continuing to be built. Just needs them to stack up a little bit. Both players trying to stack up their armies just a little bit more, but you never want this situation where the Terran has your base completely covered here. Another Reaver is out. I'm going to try to use that Reaver once again with the Zealot cover here. Going to run in and drop it. Going to get one shot off, pick off one tank before giving its life here. But yeah, I think the time is running out for Mr. Jose here as these tanks move forward here. Going to be able to start picking off these Zealots before they can even get a single shot off here. And yeah, I think Jose's time has come, and we are going to get ourselves a game number 7. Picking off those gateways, basically halving Jose's production. These tanks are just inching themselves closer. Going to be in range of that Nexus now. Continuing to macro away at home. Very nicely done. Undefeated with this factory build here. I'm going to start doing this too. Don't know if I have the micro to do it and the macro because it does require plenty of both here. Dropship going to run into the Wraith and GG is going to be called there. And we're going to jump into a game number 7. So this is a hell of a series. I don't even know if Kokanee himself could have put up such a good fight here. So yeah, I still would have loved to see it, but here we go. We'll jump into game number 7. This is as good as she gets right here. We'll see how she goes. If Scan can pull it off, or if Jose will get up that upset. See you in game number 7. So game number 7. I also just got clarification on that that abrupt PVT loss from Scan when Scan went carriers and then he just left while he was recalling. He actually did disconnect here. So Jose won that. Because Scan disconnected. That is why it was so abrupt. I didn't think that he won that game, but I guess that's what happened. Scan disconnected, and that is why we are in this series, or in this game 7 here. Jose got a little lucky, even though he was pushing out there, but I didn't think he won that game, especially Scan just gave up so quickly. But yeah, Scan actually disconnected. So Jose got the W, and here we are in game number 7. Jose as Terran versus Scan as Zerg here. So we're finally seeing Scan's Zerg again. You'll see if he's going to go for that mass speedling build that he just loves so much. Yeah, Jose not going to go for any crazy factory opening. Going to stick with what he knows best, the triple gateway. And yeah, game 7 match point here, winner take all. Great series. Jose stepping in for Kokanee, Coconuts. Still, of course, not as exciting as what could have been, but what can ya do? The Korean Slayer just disappointing us with his no-show. Hopefully all is well and nothing too serious happened. And he's, yeah, hopefully the guy's okay, because no one's even heard from him. But yeah, here we go. We're jumping into it. Quick gas here for Scan, and only a single sunken colony. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that he is going to go for the Zergling speed build. And look at that, he is getting that Zergling speed here. So Scan, loving this build here, and is going for that, yeah, that Zergling speed build once again here. Going to see that he is up against a fair bit of Marines. Not going to be crazy factory build here. And yeah, he's already starting to mass up his Zerglings here. So in game number 7, Scan just going balls to the walls and just going to try to pwn Jose with just a mass Zergling build here. It's been working out. He is, so far, I guess it's 1-1 right now. We saw it beat Jose, or we saw it beat JH once, and we saw it lose to Jose once. So we'll see. There is Marines and medics out though. That is always scary to do. But Layers coming out and Burrow. So we'll see if he's got some tricks up his sleeve here. Maybe some Burrow Zergling trick to go in there. A couple of Marines trying to run by here, but they are going to be stopped here, and the Zerglings are now pouring in here. Going to get a decent surround here on these Marines here, picking off a lot of Marines. Another bunker going down here, or another barracks coming down here. No bunker is being built. He is pulling some SCVs to try to stack attack here, as most of his units have been picked off here. He's going to be able to pick off that factory here. I'm going to make it, force it to lift. It is on fire here. It is definitely doing some damage. The fire bats are now out there, pulling a lot of SCVs. Only 2 SCVs mining now. So Jose's his bank is low. Picking off that academy. We're going to at least try to. Stim has been completed here. Trying to pick off this depot here. While he does get his Hydralisk Den up, and Lurker upgrade will be on its way shortly if it's not already here. Streaming Zerglings in though. They are getting damage done still here. The Firebats are trying to work together with the medics. The Academy does go down here, trying to pick off that factory too. The factory looks like it is going to go down. He did try to re-land it here. It does have some workers mining. Is going to lift it up once again. May not have enough to get back over here though. Marines are getting picked off. There's just so many Zerglings here being poured in, and they are doing significant damage to Jose. So Jose may be a little nervous in this game 7. Going to get a little flustered here. Pulling his SCVs though, doing a decent job, but he has no mining right now, and losing depots like a madman. SCV is trying to take out the Zerglings. The Zerglings are gonna burrow though. We are seeing the burrow now as well, going to unburrow and start going out here, and yeah, it is looking like he may not even need the lurkers to finish off Jose right now. Jose does have a bunker up though. The factory does go down. He is in shambles right now. No depots, no factory, and he is going to be reset completely. There's going to be no chance he has any detection now. So once this lurker upgrade is done, which it is nearly done now, these lurkers are going to be able to spawn and absolutely devastate Mr. Jose here. Ling's still alive and still streaming in here, only on 3 hatchery. Zerglings just pouring in right now. The tech lab, everything is down. His economy is in shambles. He is supply block. He is trying to throw down a command center and 2 supply depots here. So he is going to try to macro himself out of this, but 3 lurkers with 24 Zerglings are out on the map here. He could probably get a surround on that depot if he wanted. There is so many Zerglings out here. But they are just going to play it safely. It is game 7 here. He's going to play it safe and let these lurkers spawn and then just go with them together. Does want a buffer here. We do have the factory trying to be rebuilt. For Mr. Jose. Jose not giving up. He does like to hold on here, but this is going to absolutely be GG. There's no way that he can hold on. The lurkers are going to be burrow, and Jose is actually going to say GG, and he is going to lose this best of 7 series to Scan. Scan, the champion, is going to win versus Jose. And we have to assume that he would have done the same versus Kokanee. I would have loved to see that series go to 7 games, but what can you do? No point of living in the past. Let's just enjoy what we have in front of us here. And Scan, the absolute monster, just destroying people in his path, and is going to get that 4-3 victory and be the rightful crown of the Tournament of Titans. Won this season, its most recent season, and he won this tournament. Absolute beast of a player. So congratulations, Scan, on winning your $130 USD. Hope you buy yourself something nice. Get yourself a nice meal because you deserve it. Very well played, and congratulations, Scan. And that is the end of our Tournament of Titans in a pretty climactic series, but anticlimactic way, because we've just been following the path of our 2 players, and we really wanted to see them face off. But regardless, we did get to see Jose versus Scan. Jose did not participate in the tournament, but at least he came out for this best of 7, and he put on a good show. So GG, guys. We'll see Scan versus Evil. That'll be the next series I cast. They promise to play each other as well. And yeah, then after that, I don't know. We hopefully the next SCW season starts soon, because I don't know Swords being a little emo about that, not quite saying what's going to go on or what. He said a while ago that was going to be the last season, so let's hope that it's not, because it would suck if this this little yeah, fastest league dies. It's blowing up in Korea. We got to keep it alive over here for us foreigners, us Peruvians and Canadians and Americans and all that good stuff. But yeah, GG guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.